Miss Evans? She startled, looked up, took me in warily. Then her eyes left mine, and she appeared to focus on something over my left shoulder. I flicked a look to see what had caught her attention, but there was nothing but an empty table behind me. I looked back. Evans' eyes dropped from mine. She'd seen nothing. Apparently, she just had a difficult time looking at me. "You're the detective, Cassandra Raines." She said it in a clear voice, loud enough for the half-buzzed night owls nearest to us to clearly hear. I cocked an ear, then waited for what I knew was coming. I'd planned on counting to 5, but it didn't take that long for the half-in-the-bag party revelers and seasoned working girls on a break to get up from the tables and slip out into the cold. Detectives, even private ones like me, got no love at all. And it said a lot when a person would rather risk frostbite and hypothermia than share space with one of us. If I were the type of gal who gave a twist, I'd have taken offense. I began to unzip my jacket, thought better of it halfway through the zip, and zipped it up again. I'd give it another minute, or 20, to warm up some. I watched Evans sitting there, her leg bouncing nervously under the table, her not looking at me. She was thin, now that I saw her up close, and her eyes had dark circles under them. "You're not hungry?" I said. Evans shook her head, the denial unconvincing. She took a sip from her cup. There was no steam coming off the top. She'd obviously been sitting with it a while. "Well, I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. You mind me getting a little something? We can talk while I eat." She nodded an okay, and I walked up to the counter, ordered double, and waited for my sliders, fries, and onion rings, sneaking the occasional peek back at the table, but finding Leesa Evans unchanged each time. My order was up fast. Not much of a line at 2:00 a.m. I carried the bag back to the table, sat, and then dug in for the first slider. I offered Evans some, but she shook her head no. "Oh, come on. I can't eat all these by myself. I mean, I could, but I'd regret it almost instantly." I offered up the bag. "Help me out?" Tentatively, like a shy kitten coaxed toward a bowl of buttermilk, Evans took a slider from the bag, bit into it. I spread the rest of the tiny boxes onto the table, positioning them between us. Easy access for whoever wanted more. 2 a.m., I said, smiling. Unconventional. She finished the slider, eyed the line of boxes in front of her, but didn't go for one. It looked like I was going to have to coax her along, one slider at a time. I pushed a few boxes closer to her. She smiled slightly, then took another. "I got a job, cleaning places at night." She cocked her head. "The bus lets me out at the corner there." I glanced out at the corner of 79th and Stony, the stop on the west side of a cage match intense tangle of intersections, which at the height of the day had cars flying from all directions on mistimed traffic lights. The hub of confusion was loathed by locals, ignored by the city, and had earned a decades-old reputation for being a flat-out death trap. If you were bent enough to try and cross the streets walking, you had better be quick about it. If you were driving and stuck at a light, you'd be wise to cross yourself and get right with Jesus before you pushed off on the green. I ate another slider, watching Evans as she avoided looking at me, wondering how old she was. I'd pegged her as being in her early 40s, but closer to her now, she looked younger than that. Something had hit her hard somewhere. That was evident, and her shoulders drooped from the weight of it left behind. I snuck furtive glances at her hands and wrists, wondering what was hidden under the jacket. She didn't look high or drunk. She was lucid, though slightly morose. She tugged at her sleeves again, as though she was trying desperately to hide something. I thought, addict. Recovering, at least. I thought, alcohol too, maybe. It would account for her skittishness, the tugs. "How can I help you, Miss Evans?"